So the University of Western Australia is ranked in the top 100 in the world. It's currently ranked number 93 in the world. In particular, the ocean engineering, which is relevant to defence, is ranked in the top 10 in the world. So number 9 in the world. So this is really important because ocean engineering is an important aspect to both industry more broadly, but also to defence. Our marine science are also ranked in the top 50 in the world. So these are really peaks of excellence that we have. But I think also it's worth remembering that there are currently no rankings for interdisciplinary groupings, such as the Oceans Institute, that brings these things together. And I think we're seeing a transition in universities towards multidisciplinarity, recognising that no one discipline can assist at growth of an industry, including defence, but no one discipline can solve the challenges facing oceans or facing our land. So we need to come together and work collectively to address these challenges. The University of Western Australia has obviously a comprehensive university that engages in research and teaching across a range of different disciplines, many of which are directly relevant to defence. So that could be engineering, science, medicine, social sciences. All of these are very relevant to defence projects. So some of our particular interests relate to technology, underwater remote operated vehicles, remote sensing, automation, robotics. That level of technology, really very important for defence. Equally, in terms of the engineering projects that we do in the resources sector, many of which are transferable directly to defence, including various vehicles and vessels. In the sciences, of course, we look very much at the environment and the geology, marine science, across different disciplines that are relevant to a number of different sectors, whether we are talking about exploring in the ocean or on land. I think some of the intersections then between science and engineering are very important, including oceanography and Earth observation. And the observation technologies that we have allow us to sense different parts of the environment and sense activity, both of humans, but also of other species and the environment itself. When we look at some of the other disciplines, so of course we've got health, medicine, all of which is relevant, social sciences, and particularly some of the social impact research that we are doing is also important in terms of the way we engage with various elements of the community, various stakeholders. Law, policy, politics, international relations, terrorism research, or anti-terrorism research. All of those are very relevant both to Australia's internal security, but also national security agenda facing out into the ocean. And then some of the other specific things that we look at are, for example, human factors, psychological effects of different workplaces, how we can better design our environments in which people work to ensure that they provide a less stressful environment, in terms of already recognising that sometimes the context in which people are working is stressful. So, for example, we have, through our Centre for Transformative Work Design, we have a project at the moment looking at the interior design of submarines. So recognising that this is going to be a stressful environment to work for defence forces, how can we take away some of the factors that would add to that stress? How can we better design a workplace to make it operate more effectively, both in terms of the psychological aspects as well as the physical layout and design? I spoke before about the Centre for Transformative Work Design, which is a very important one. I think also when we look at the Oceans Institute itself, the Oceans Institute draws across the whole university in terms of all of the disciplines. We have a specific research focus. One of our 5 research themes is focused specifically on maritime security, safety and defence. So this brings together the research that I've spoken about in terms of engineering, remote sensing, technology, big data and data analysis, which is also another important aspect. Brings together the researchers looking at criminology, criminal activity, looking at terrorism and what gives rise to issues, for example, like piracy at sea, and the syndication of transnational criminals on the high seas who may be trafficking in weapons, but may also be undertaking other illegal activities. So we bring those different aspects together, as well as broader aspects around safety at sea, which is relevant to the Royal Australian Navy as much as it is to other aspects of civil and commercial work. So I think UWA certainly sees significant potential growth in the area of defence, but not just alone, also collaborating with partners, including all the universities across the state and indeed across the country. A couple of the key projects we're working on at the moment, one of them, as I said, in psychological science. That is really important because it is looking at effects in relation to defence that we hadn't previously looked at. As I said, looking at some of the psychological stresses on people. One of the other important aspects is ocean observation. So we have radar facilities, we have underwater sea gliders, we have autonomous vehicles that are able to observe what is happening in areas where we can't directly observe that ourselves. So these are two areas. Remote sensing in particular is an area that I think has huge potential. And of course, because we have the oil and gas industry and because the University of Western Australia has focused very much on supporting that industry through research over many years, we have a unique ability to translate that research for the benefit of the defence industry. So we have some critical pieces of infrastructure. We're a node of IMOS, the Integrated Marine Observing System in WA. We have the National Geotechnical Centrifuge Facility, the largest centrifuge facility with 3 major centrifuges supporting the oil and gas industry, but equally are well able to support other industries. And we have facilities like the Pawsey supercomputer, which is a unique facility able to provide support for data analysis that is not available elsewhere.